So let's start at the beginning. Knights are about movement. Knights of Pentacles, that's earth thing. So it does feel like you may have been a little inert over the last couple of months, and now it does look like you have a little sprinkling of activity. I know it is winter time here in the Western Hemisphere, so you can't. It may feel like you're starting to get ready for spring. You're making some motions and doing some things, maybe to make more money or to readjust your money in some kind. It can be as simple as, redoing your 401k or really shifting to another job or how you spend or save your money. This is going in a forward direction. Tonight kind of dictate a little bit of motion in order for those creativity and those ideas to come to fruition. So put a little energy into what you want to do, a little effort into it, and it feels like it will start the motion. But it does feel like you've been kind of sitting and contemplating for a little bit, and now it feels like Spirit is kind of dictating a little bit more motion behind those beautiful ideas, Aquarius. What crosses you is your fears. This is the old, broke, and alone. Sometimes we get a little paralyzed by our fears and do nothing. And sometimes doing nothing is a choice. So we kind of leave it up to the universe if you don't do anything. And it's usually not that not that pleasant, or it usually takes a little bit more energy if we leave it up to the universe. So put a little forward motion into those ideas, step through those fears, realizing, making mistakes is how we learn to make better choices and better situations. So don't let that fear hold you or paralyze you. It's time to take those first steps. But it does feel like you're a little crippled sometimes by your mind. Your mind may hold you back from your greatness. So step through that fear. Usually when we step through that fear, we realize it is not as crippling, or it's not as bad as we thought it was initially. So what is above you? This is the 6, and this kind of dictates floating, waiting, but it was upside down. So this is another validation that it's time to move some of that energy, pack a box if you're moving, clean out the closet, send those resumes, pick up the paperwork you've been avoiding, whatever it is, you need to put a little bit of physical motion behind some of those ideas. And this just validates no more floating, no more sitting and I'm wondering what's going to happen. It's time to take a step into motion and put these great ideas into the universe. The Page of Swords is here, and pages usually are messages. Swords can be cutting. So this may have been news of a problem or a difficulty, troublesome. It could relate to a young person that might be in trouble as well. This may be, some medical things that are on your plate that you've been apprised of. It does not look like it's anything shocking to you, but it does look like the news was a bit problematic and made you kind of choose a different direction or put things on hold while you dealt with this problem. It is in the past position, so it is not something that you're unaware of. It's something that was brought to light a bit in the past. This is usually fairly recently, but it is not happening now. Judgment is here. This is one of the higher arcana cards. This is the 20. So it does look like, and it feels like to me, it's time to put down some of those crippling ideas, put down the judgment on yourself. It does feel like you're very, very harsh on yourself, Aquarius. So it's time to be kinder to you and choose you first. It does feel like that it is, the judgment is also kind of piggybacked some of this fear and holding you in a place of inertia and holding you in a place of not being able to move forward. So it does look like you're consciously making some changes on your thinking patterns and kind of that self-saboteur. It looks like you're putting that down. We are not kings and queens in this world, and we are not awful. So we are somewhere in the balance of this, and it does feel like you are finding your balance through putting some of that self-judgment and over-criticism towards yourself, because we can't really move anything if we're constantly telling ourselves that we can't do it. So it does look like put down some of that self-judgment. This doesn't feel like it is externalized, it is internalized. So it's time to release all that, kind of grab your faith and your trust in yourself, and then move into your new endeavors. The Fool is right here. And the Fool is kind of like, take a leap of faith. This person is looking up to the heavens and has faith in themselves. And it's kind of a pure feeling, unencumbered feeling. So it does feel like you may have put down some physical things that didn't serve you anymore, and you're starting with a clean slate. This can be, surrounding either a breakup, a new job, moving to a new home, but this is a brand new place for you that you're kind of excited about. So take a leap of faith, no more overthinking, Aquarius, and just start that motion, start that ball in action, and see where it takes you. You can always, if one road doesn't lead you the direction that you feel comfortable, you can always, backtrack and go on a different road. There are no rules to that. But this does hold you kind of a little bit too much. So putting down that judgment will really help you propel yourself into the new stuff. I'm terribly sorry. I have an awful cough, and it's going to come up, I'm sure. Pardon me. The next one that's happening here is the Six of Cups. And this is usually a love from the past revisiting. It can dictate moving things around in your home, reconnecting with people, can be children around your home. But for the most part, it's kind of reigniting a love from the past, or even communication from someone from the past. Sorry, Aquarius. Anyway, but this does feel like this is a brand new space, that you have cleaned out a lot of this temper stuff, judgment stuff. So being able to make room to reconnect with people from your past, which does look like brings you great joy. The Moon is the next one. This is the internalized things. Our moon reflects what's inside of us. It also can stand for the Mother card. But this does feel like self-reflection a little bit, and trying to figure out a new way of reflecting in a positive way. And you have made a lot of changes and a lot of breaking ground on a lot of new ways to doing things, but it does feel like you are a little stunted here. It's time to go through these gates, take a leap of faith like the Fool, and see where that road leads you. Don't be afraid to get on that path, Aquarius. It's time for you to walk through the gates. It's time for you to make those big changes and make yourself a priority as well. The Five of Wands is here. This can be a little tumultuous card. This feels like there may be some dissidence in the family. It is right underneath the King of Cups. So this does feel like either a father figure, a mentor, but it does feel like there's a little bit of discord, a little bit of dissidence in the family. It does feel like a disagreement. You're on one side, people are on the other, kind of thing. The best advice for this is to back out of it for a minute and see when the dust settles. See if you can work out some things with family, but it does feel like an old family legacy, an old pattern that no longer works for you anymore. Since you have made these changes, the dynamics in the family, and either keeping quiet about things or just accepting things is not working for you anymore. So it does feel like you'll have to do a little bit of communication with family to clear up some of this dissidence, this little bit of discord, but it does look like internal fighting within the family. What is above it is the King of Cups. You know, the King of Cups is usually an exalted person. This can stand for love, emotions, taking the high road around people that you love, speaking your truth, and having good advice. This does feel like it's representative of kind of the crust of what is happening in the discord of the family. So there may be an elderly person that needs some help. There may be some discord around that, but it does feel like there's a little bit of a power shift. So stay in integrity. The King of Cups reminds us it's all about love. It's really all about love, compassion, understanding, and putting your best foot forward type of thing, not crawling lowly when other people are fighting. You take the high road, Aquarius. This can also stand for a water sign. That's Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. But in general, those cups are about love. King is about really being in integrity. And kind of kings of cups can also be like mask peelers. They see the truth for what it is. You don't necessarily have to engage in it just to identify it, but the King of Cups is here to remind you to take the high road, Aquarius, when those around you are battling it out. The Hierophant on one side, it can stand for religion, spirituality. It also validates this King of Cups taking the high road, choosing the right roads to take. But it does require a little spiritual balance, but it does feel like in general you are embracing a little bit more of your spirituality, whether that's reading a self-help book, going to a yoga class, or just meditating or praying. Can even be going back to church if you have been away from church for a while. But the Hierophant is there to remind you to continue to take the high road. On the other side of this can be the abundance card. This is the Nine of Cups. It can stand for inheritance. So it does feel like there may be a little discord in the family around either inheritance, money, and it does feel like somebody else's money. So there may be a little discord around the family. You know, a lot of people have that one family member that only thinks about what they're going to receive when that person leaves the planet. And while the other ones are trying to make sure that this person, the aged person, is comfortable and healthy and fed. So it does look like this discord has some feeling around either inheritance, an aged relative, or how money is spent within the family. So there might be a huge bit of line drawn in the sand type of thing. Some people on this side, some people on that side. I'm going to throw a couple of these. What are these? These are chakra cards. I believe it's a Doreen Virtue too. I like her. Let's get some clarity on here. Dissipating. So it does feel like some of the family stuff is dissipating. Also, some of your internal fears are dissipating. So just allow that process, allow the flow. Don't hold on too tightly to the past, and let the new stuff kind of welcome you and show you the way. The next one is forgiveness. This means for yourself and for others. So, you know, those family members that seem very selfish and seem money oriented, you just have to forgive them. They are on a different level than you are. And forgiveness is really in the higher levels of the chakras. So it's really kind of the God stuff, the love stuff. So self-love is really important here, Aquarius. It's time to stop beating yourself up. Forgive yourself from the past so you can move out of your own way and enjoy your future, whatever that looks like to you.